So hi everyone, this video is going to be covering our presentation on genetic engineering, and we're going to be talking about its applications in medicine, and just that topic specifically because genetic engineering is a very broad topic that applies to other fields such as agriculture, animal breeding, mechanics, and more. And our volunteers will give a brief introduction to genetic engineering with some interactive activities. We're going to omit those for the video just because the students can't respond. And so feel free to comment or email us with any questions if you are confused with the video.
Okay, here we have 5 pictures of what look like very different animals, but can everyone think of something they might all have in common? So the answers I was looking for were that these animals are green and that they glow. But why is that?
All of the animals that we just saw went through a process called gene editing. You might be thinking, what in the world is gene editing? But don't worry, because we're going to explain it through a very simple example.
Let's start with something that most of us are familiar with. So here we have celebrities that we're all familiar with. We have Nick Jonas, Ariana Grande, and Shawn Mendes, and also Taylor Swift. And we're gonna use this to conduct our example.
So all of us, including all the celebrities we see here, have something inside of us called DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. And it basically determines what we look like, and it makes us different from everyone else. So we're going to look at DNA from one of the celebrities above, and you guys will tell us who this DNA belongs to.
DNA is split up into many sections, and they are each in charge of something different. Each section is called a gene, and it's like a clue to find out who the celebrity is. This first section tells us that the celebrity has brown hair. The second section tells us that this celebrity has brown eyes. The third selection tells us that this celebrity is 5 feet tall. And this last selection tells us that this celebrity is female. So, who do you think it is? You most likely answered Ariana Grande.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this doesn't explain what gene editing is. And that's what we're going to do right now. Gene editing is basically taking out one section and replacing it with a different section that tells us something else. So if we took out the section that says brown hair and we replace it with the section that tells us Ariana Grande has gray hair, what will happen? Well, she's going to have gray hair. So how do we use this to make things glow? It doesn't look like Ariana Grande's glowing.
In order to make things glow, we need to use a section of DNA that is so special it has its own specific name. We call it GFP. GFP stands for green fluorescent protein. And this makes sense because all the animals that we previously saw were green and they all glowed. Okay, so let's see how we can use what we learned about gene editing to make animals glow.
One thing that's super important is that GFP actually comes from a specific type of jellyfish. So we can look at the DNA of a jellyfish and we'll find the section that makes the jellyfish glow. Here is the section that says it has no bones or eyes. Here's the section that says it has tentacles. Here's the section that says it has no brain or heart. And here is the GFP. Now, in order to be able to use it, we're going to take this section out.
Now we have a normal pet cat. Here's a part of its DNA. There are multiple sections in it, some of it being brown fur, stripes, brown and black fur. And here we find a section that tells us that this cat doesn't glow. But what if we want the cat to glow? Don't we have the GFP from the jellyfish? So this is really interesting, but we can take out the section that makes the cat not glow and insert GFP, and then our cat will glow. You might be thinking, okay, so how is gene editing even useful? What if I don't want my cat to glow? And I would completely agree with you, because gene editing doesn't stop there.
We can make bacteria glow using the same process, and this can allow us to see where the bacteria are, so we can avoid it and we won't get sick as often. But gene editing doesn't stop here. We can go beyond using GFP and make things glow.
Yeah, so we can look at each section of the bacteria and its properties, such as causing people to cough or have runny noses or vomit. And then we will see a section that says it doesn't glow, just like in the cat, and we can remove it and insert the GFP from the jellyfish. So let's say that this girl right here is completely colorblind and she can only see in black and white. By looking at her DNA, we can see the different sections of her genes that give her blonde hair and blue eyes, and then also a section that makes her colorblind. And we can use gene editing to take out this section and put in a section that makes her not colorblind. And so think about the difference that this can make on this girl, and she'll be able to see color for the first time in her life, and it'll be thanks to gene editing. In conclusion, genetic engineering is actually a fairly new field of medicine, and it is yet to be developed. Genetic engineering can be used to treat hereditary diseases such as HIV, diabetes, cancer, or even non-hereditary diseases like COVID-19. Genetic engineers are working to find new ways to advance this field, and there are many new technologies that are being developed today. You may have heard about medical professionals using CRISPR or applying genetic engineering to babies that aren't even born yet. All of these applications are only the beginning of the field of genetic engineering and has so much potential to grow. In the future, it will most likely be one of the most important fields of medicine, and our generation will be the ones to lead it. There is so much possibility in terms of advancements within this field, and only the future will reveal how far we'll go. So before making this presentation, I contacted Genentech and asked them if they had any resources for students to learn about genetic engineering, because they are a pretty well-known biotechnology company here in the Bay Area. And so here are some resources that they emailed me. And so the resources on this slide are mostly related to Genentech in specific and their work as a biotechnology company. So you can learn more about making medicine, gamifying genetics, and also biotech basics. And here are some resources for biotechnology in general. So the Exploratorium in San Francisco, the Tech Museum of Innovation in San Jose, and the City of San Mateo Public Library have resources for you to learn about biotechnology. Our next session will be on October 18th, 2020, and we will cover stem cell regeneration through planaria, medical applications, and human stem cells. And we have our programming session outline in this document that you can check out. It is subject to change because we are planning for speakers to come. And we do have an upcoming guest speaker on November 15th, 2020. Her name is Dr. Manal Alcara, and she's a family doctor at Kaiser Permanente, and she grew up in San Francisco. So this will be a really good opportunity for you guys to learn more about medicine through someone who has a lot of experience in this field. So please come up with at least 2 questions you want to ask her and submit it through this form right here. All of the links that I've mentioned through the slideshow will be in the description below. So please check that out. And thank you for watching our pre-recorded session.